I think the Notre Dame story and the fact that all of the coaches are staying at Notre Dame and not taking more money to go work with Brian Kelly says a lot about Brian Kelly. Notre Dame acting decisively.
Notre Dame.
They knew exactly who they wanted when Brian Kelly left, and they went and elevated Marcus Freeman as their head coach. I think the Notre Dame story and the fact that all of the coaches are staying at Notre Dame and not taking more money to go work with Brian Kelly says a lot about Brian Kelly, says a lot about Marcus Freeman also.
They did not give us the domino we wanted, where somebody left somewhere, creating another opening and more intrigue. This kind of slows everything down or finishes it.
I'm
we need
actually
Oklahoma, and that might be it.
I'm glad that things slow down a bit. I know that it's crazy season for coaching searches and raises and guys bolting and drama. But I'm happy that another program doesn't have to go in another coaching search abruptly because of what has happened through all this, and it's no one's fault. It's the system, it's the churn. But it's ridiculous money. There's no way Mel Tucker deserves $9.5 million a year.
No, absolutely.
And that sets the stage for Brian Kelly bolting for LSU. I mean, he deserves it because they're willing to pay it at Michigan State. Because if you have your guy, you've got your guy, and you pay him. Even if you think you have your guy, you still pay him. And that's just the world we're in, where over a 24-hour period, there were over $200 million, $225 million handed out in college coaching contracts on 2 universities.
I don't like the money part, but I like the intrigue of who's going where and who's going with them and all of that.
That's all fair, too. I mean, I like it. I also dislike it because all it is a money grab for agents, because as a collective media, we just regurgitate whatever. There's no double sourcing anymore. It's just, let's make a hot list. It's like a mock draft. No one goes back to check these mock drafts, and you can throw out all these names and all these different connections because agents are mentioning them, and committees and coaching search firms are mentioning them, and everybody gets paid off of it. Everybody wins.
And they missed on the 2 big ones, right? Nobody had Lincoln Riley going to USC.
No.
Nobody had Brian Kelly going to LSU.
No.
Yeah, it's been a bad cycle for reporting of what's going to happen. And I got to find the guy's name. I think it's Mick Essoff is the guy from Notre Dame that broke the story. Bruce Feldman credited him.
The poor guy didn't get any pub off of this.
I know there were a lot of people crediting someone else for it, so I went back and made a point to tweet, hey, great job by whoever this guy is. He lives in Atlanta. He's connected. I don't know if he's connected to some sort of it's some sort of online company when I saw his bio, but clearly he has Notre Dame connections because he's constantly tweeting out things and reporting on Notre Dame. He had it 2 hours before anyone else. I went back and looked. He had it 3 hours before the person that everybody was crediting had it 2 hours after him.
Just like days. Yeah. Today's media thing. How does he not get credit?
I also think it's really cool that Bruce Feldman pointed out, hey, story broken by this person. And I retweeted and said, hey, if you're a Notre Dame person, you should definitely follow them. But, I mean, he had it all along. And he's had every coach that's been staying before it happens, down to the strength coach. So he's very well connected. He posted a text from Tommy Rees, the offensive coordinator, that said, are you staying or going? And he put back, I'm staying. And he posted a screenshot. Hey, guys, Tommy's not going anywhere. Well, the 29-year-old offensive coordinator. So good job by him nailing the story.
Did you see Tommy Rees's speech to the team, his offensive staff?
I've not seen that.
The team, not the staff. He stood in front. He goes, I just want you to know there's been a lot of questions about if I was going, if I'm staying. He goes, I'm committed to you guys. I believe that you and us and this program can win a national title, and my heart is here. It's not anywhere else. I'm staying.
Shots at Brian Kelly there with the I believe we can win a national title.
Well, yeah, but he said, so what LSU did is they took audio from a press conference at him at Notre Dame and put that out there. And Notre Dame players took that as, that's a shot at us, when really they're just clipping things to make a pump-up video, a hype video for their own fan base. But going back to Tommy Rees.
Entirely.
Tommy Rees made the right call, and here's why. Because Brian Kelly has been given credit, and he deserves credit. The defensive coordinators over the years with him have been the head of the ship at the direction of the defense. Well, now that they've hired Freeman, Tommy Rees can be that version for offense at Notre Dame. He has autonomy on offense, where in the past, Brian Kelly was dictating a lot of what was going on.
It's a much better job than it used to be.
Yeah, so I think it made a ton of sense to stay. He's 29. You've got Marcus Freeman, who's 35, and I think there's a lot of connections that still go back to Sean McVay being hired in the NFL at the age of 33, youngest coach in the history of the league, head coach. In some cases, he's younger than the vets on his roster. He may have been 32 or 31, now that I think about it.
I think he might have been 31.
Freeman's 35, and no one bats an eye at it. And you continue to look around. Lincoln Riley at Oklahoma was 33 when he first started as the head coach of the Sooners. Ryan Day was 38 or 39 at Ohio State. The coaches continue to get younger and younger at programs, and Freeman's the latest example.
You've talked about Brian Kelly and how well he's done with his coaching staff over the years, not being able to bring either, better yet, both of his two big guns, which was the rumor early.
Yeah, and
he now has to assemble more from scratch. It'll be interesting to see what he does. He's got a great track record, but he's got to go a little deeper into his pool now.
And I think the first report I saw was he was trying to get one of the assistant coaches on Ohio State staff and could not do it.
A guy that goes back with him to Central Michigan. That goes all the way back there. I believe he coached with him at Central Michigan, now is at Ohio State.